Hey there folks, Bean Devil here. I'm the second Shaitan, the seventh devil of Islam, and I'm your devil barrier. I wanted to talk about people who want to escape from home, especially if you're living in a narcissist's home, especially by your parents who might be narcissists, and maybe you didn't have any great time with them and just wish you could be anywhere else. Maybe you have a hard time to even get out of there and don't know exactly where to go. But for some reason, there will maybe be one solution you might have in your head if you're a scapegoat in the family. You want to leave. You want to leave from home. You just want to break free from the parents. And maybe you're thinking, well, I need to get out of there. What is the solution? Move out from the family in this case. But that means that you need to have a job, your own income, and don't be dependent on your parents. But at the same time, it will be harder for each and anyone who doesn't have it. But if you can find a way to get a solution by getting some support or anything, then that could also be something for you. But at the same time, I think not all countries have the time to even do that. What you need at least is friends who can actually help you to move out from the house when you're actually living with narcissism and hurting you, both physical and mental. And yes, I know, sometimes we don't want to even talk about that, and especially if we are Muslims, of course we have to submit to our parents. But sometimes it's worth to move out and feel free from that toxic environment we lived in. Yes, it is hard. Having your own apartment would actually solve many things, of course. Your own space, your own time, and your own zone. Although it will still be hard because your parents were still looking for you. Unless you, for some reason, can live in a, how should I say, anonymous apartment maybe, to keep your name and anything anonymous without to be fined unless you might allow them to come to you, of course. And as I mentioned earlier, you need help. Either you get someone to help you to move out with your stuff and so on, or you leave your stuff at home and maybe buy new furnace and whatever you need. But sometimes not all of us have that courage, and we may be staying home and be afraid over whatever comes and goes, and maybe wait until a better opportunity, or we maybe doesn't have any more plans. I know that I used to have that part. My mistake was that I didn't left because I was afraid of my own parent. I didn't want to disappoint them. But it did hurt me, of course. I did suffer for over 5 years after dealing with this bullshit I have going through in my life. And since there were a lot of snitchers, I couldn't do anything at all. So I was trapped in that toxic environment so long. But I don't empathize you to stay home. No, it should rather be your own choice what you think. But I would still suggest, if you want to move out, when I suggest that you're doing it, find any people who can actually help you to move. But it's also important that you have a job, income, and anything else to get support. Because if you don't, you will not be able to handle yourself. And since I know there is sometimes rule to get an apartment, you need an income in order to get one. or you need some support from anyone, from the state maybe, or whatever. What you need is benefits. It could be credit benefit or maybe universal benefit or whatever benefit. Or whatever I could think of. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. This is just part 1. I will give you a part 2 so fast I can. I don't know when I will do that, but I will do it anyway. I am being devil, the second shaitan, the seventh devil of Islam. You're devil by ear, and I'm thanking you for hearing my voice. I will be back again.